Welcome to Unleash Leadership, the podcast where bold leaders and changemakers come together to share their stories, strategies, and insights for creating a lasting impact on society. Karla Blanco is your host. For over 28 years, she has been navigating the complexities of the corporate and government worlds, a journey that's taught her that authentic leadership isn't just about climbing the ladder. It's about lifting others as you rise. Along the way, she uncovered the unwritten rules that drive success, the ones no one tells you about, but that can define your career and legacy. On this podcast, she'll sit down with extraordinary guests from around the globe, leaders, visionaries, and innovators who are leaving their mark on the world. Together, they'll explore their journeys, uncover their tips and tricks, and dive into the challenges they've overcome to inspire you to excel in whatever you're facing. Whether you're climbing the corporate ranks, building your personal brand, or leading change in your community, this podcast is your space to grow, learn, and unleash the leader within. So grab a notebook, get ready to take action, and join us on this journey to unleash our leadership potential. Before we dive in, make sure to follow Karla on Instagram, LinkedIn, at Karla Blanco Coach, Karla with a K, and YouTube at Karla Blanco Show to stay connected and get even more leadership tips and updates.
I'm delighted to introduce Melissa Galt, who is an amazing industry leader. She is a successful entrepreneur, educator, author, speaker, marketing consultant, business coach, and adventurer. She is known for igniting your business performance, reconnecting you with your passion for success, and showing you how to have a major impact in your industry and the world today. She is the creator and host of Design Business Freedom podcast. Melissa, welcome to the show. It's an honor to have you here. Thank you, Melissa. Share with us about your journey and the life experiences that shaped the industry leader that you are.
Well, I am delighted to be here. Thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity. And it's been a bumpy ride. It definitely has. When I first dove into design, I dove in on the corporate path. And I was working for small business in one case, and then I worked for a very large business. And in both cases, I was out within 18 months because I don't do well with authority. So then I accidentally jumped off into the wild blue yonder 6 months premature to my planned startup because I'd gone head to head with a boss that I had over vacation. She said I didn't have it. I said I did. And I took it and I got my vacation paycheck. So I had been right, but I was also left unexpectedly unemployed. So I just decided to jump in and start my practice 6 months before plan. And I had a very kind of interesting viewpoint where I thought, head down, get clients, get clients, get clients. And I did that for my first 5 years in business. I didn't network with anyone in my industry.
Well,
I literally was completely focused on that. And it was both good and bad. The good was I ultimately defined who my ideal client was, and I did extremely well financially. The bad news was I didn't have a life. I really and truly was working 70, 80-hour weeks to deliver. And what I've learned, and my definition of success at this point in business and life, is that success is a business that delivers the time and resources for your extraordinary life.
mm,
If it just delivers the resources but no time, that's not success. And clearly, if it's delivering time and no resources, that's not success. So, coming to that realization created a massive shift. And it was really when I had this moment in my business where it was a Sunday. It was the seventh day of my work week. And I desperately wanted a day off. And I was frustrated. And I was standing in my bedroom and I was like, oh, I have to go down to the office. So I stomped down to my office, and I had a beautiful office on the terrace level. And I stormed over to my desk and I yanked open my file drawer. And this is when we had file drawers. We don't have file drawers anymore. It's all digital. And I yanked open my file drawer and I scooped up all of my client folders. I had 40 folders.
Oh, wow.
And I had one assistant and I had an intern. That's all I had, 40 folders. So I spread it out on the table and I didn't really know what I was looking for. But I was staring at it, and about 10 minutes later, I was like, huh. And I started sorting them out, and I sorted my favorites over here. And then there was everybody else. And it was Pareto's principle, the 80-20 rule. So 20% of my clients were delivering 80% of my revenues. And they were my favorites. They were the ones that I would get up early for. I would stay up late for. We would, go to dinner. They taught me scuba diving. I love these people. Now, these other people were nice, but there were some whiners and complainers and some naysayers and some nickel and dimers and some energy vampires.
Yeah.
Now, I couldn't fire them all. So instead, I just made a commitment to myself. I was like, okay, going forward, I wrap all these up and I only take people like this.
Good.
So by the end of the year, my revenues had still doubled, but my workload dropped in half.
Oh, amazing.
And I got my first vacation in 5 years. And I started networking with my industry. And that is when I found out that my revenue results were 5 times normal. And I knew it wasn't my talent. It was my marketing and my business acumen. So that started my coaching unofficially way, way back when. And then fast forward 10 more years, it became official.
I love that because usually you think about when you are hiring someone, you will interview them. And so nowadays, how do you pick your customers, your clients?
Well, my clients pick me largely, which works really well. But I have a vetting process, and nobody gets into my programs without a conversation with me. I have to make sure that they are truly prepared to do the work, because I provide the strategies, the support, the systems, the processes. It's all proven, no fluff, but I can't do the work for them.
Exactly.
And they have to be rapid action takers. And not everybody is. So that makes a really big difference. And I love the thrill of my client success. When I walked in here today, I'd gotten 2 texts just in the last hour of clients with big wins.
Oh.
And that to me is everything. It's like their success is my success. And it's so much fun. So much fun.
Well, I'm so glad you are enjoying those times and not working so many hours
Yeah.
a week, and also teaching many other people to do that and have a life,
Yeah.
as you mentioned. Really appreciate, Melissa, how you are bringing the value of networking to the
Mhm.
table. It's so important. And let's move to another topic. As an author, you have many books.
Mhm.
Can you share about your books and how people can find them? Because although your clients are designers, there are many business people that will benefit and entrepreneurs from
Mhm.
your books. And actually, I have one here that I love, and it is really helpful. So
Yeah, the
share.
language of success is a great one across the board for all professionals.
Indeed.
It truly is, because I'm recognized in my industry as a wordsmith. And to me, your language determines your worth and your wealth. And it really defines your world. And when you change even a subtle word here and there, it can have a profound impact on your life and on your business. It started with self-talk, and my own self-talk is a little challenged. I freely admit it. I'm not 100% there yet, but there's some things that I did very early on in my business that I wasn't even aware of. It was very intuitive on my part, I've never used the word budget. It's just not a word in my vocabulary. And I even thought about it from a sound perspective. When somebody asks you for your budget, they're asking you for your limit. What's your limit? That's none of their business. That's too personal a question. So I've reframed it to ask people for their planned investment, or what do you want to invest in this? Because an investment has an ROI, a return on the investment.
Mhm.
And the thing about design, the thing about coaching, the thing about professional services in general, speaking, training, there's a huge ROI. Small investment, long ROI.
Yeah.
And as long as you can stay focused on the ROI, then the investment shrinks and becomes much more manageable because you go, wow, that ROI is going to be 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. In the case of design, 20 and even 30 years. So it becomes much more palatable at that point. And I think of everything in life as an investment. I think going to the grocery store is an investment in nutrition for your body. Okay, so you might be eating junk food, that's a choice.
Exactly, that's a choice.
But it's when you look at everything as, are you spending it, which has no ROI, or are you investing it? Same thing with time. Am I spending my time or am I investing my time? That one shift will have a profound impact on your entire business and life. And that's just one of 35 that are in the book, and I'm constantly coming up. I could probably do a second book now with another 35.
I love that.
Um,
And I really appreciate all of them. There is one that caught my attention about that you said, this one you need to eliminate the just.
oh, yes. Yes, and it's such a tricky one because I hear it all the time, and I even catch myself, and I'm like, I wrote the book, I can't say that. Because anytime you use the word just, anything after it is discounted.
Mm.
So I keep replacing it with simply, only, exclusively. And if that doesn't fit, I just leave it out. Because the minute you say just me, just one, just it just completely negates the value of anything that comes behind it. And it's everywhere. And so what I like to do is suggest that people get a cause band, one of those wide rubber bands that you
Yes.
wear, and you snap it against your wrist every time you catch yourself in the wrong word. So by the end of the first week, you're probably going to be bruised, hopefully not worse than that. And by the end of the second week, you will have learned the lesson. You will be able to remove the cause band, and you will have made a change in your word choices.
I really
So
appreciate that.
yeah.
And well, and actually, there are so many quotes that you have here. And let's find one. This one, abandon maybe and use your will. Your
Yeah.
will.
Yes.
So that is important because what I find in your book is empowering language.
It is empowering language. It's, for example, I don't believe in saying if, because if creates hesitation, potential confusion, and overwhelm. Instead, I presume when. When creates certainty that the thing will be done, the thing will be complete, the thing is going to happen, and it eliminates confusion and it removes all hesitation. And that's incredibly important. The other one of my favorite word pairings is and versus or. I tell people I'm going to bring you into the land of and take you out of the land of or, because when you say or to someone, it creates an immediate question mark
Exactly.
and choices. Well, most of us are overwhelmed by the number of choices we have on a daily basis, especially with the 50,000 messages digitally bombarding us.
Mm.
So I want to give people fewer choices so they can make decisions with more ease. We're all in decision making fatigue right now.
Mhm.
And so the fastest way I can do that is by eliminating or and just layering the value and going, and we can do this, and we can do this, and we'll do this. And layer, layer, layer. And it creates a sense of value and building as opposed to or, which creates that sense of I don't know how to decide.
So many, yeah.
Yeah. So stepping into the land of and makes a big difference.
Thank you. And where people can get your books?
I've done something unusual. It's literally only available everything through my website, melissagalt.com. And I know that sounds a little crazy, but I'd worked with Amazon on one or two of my books previously. And I realized that I never got to know my readers. I didn't get to communicate with them and I didn't get to personalize and inscribe each book. And I do that now. So for me, it's a much richer, much more personal experience. While I may be reaching fewer people, the people that I'm reaching, I'm really connecting with.
Mm.
And that means a lot to me. So it's on my website, and that's the only place you can get them. Or if I'm doing live book signings, absolutely.
Thank you so much. And actually, if someone comment on our episode, they may be getting one book on my behalf.
Oh, that's very generous. Very
Because definitely,
generous.
I think this is an amazing gift,
Yeah,
and I would like the audience to get one of your books.
that's lovely. Thank
Thank
you.
you. And then they can reach out to you too. Another question that I have is, well, people may already notice that Melissa is about possibility thinking.
Mhm.
So, how do you help your clients to transition their mindsets when they are in situations of setback?
Well, here's the thing about setback. It is a perception. And if it's your perception, we can change a perception because a perception isn't necessarily a reality. It's how you frame it. And I do a lot of reframes. So we take it and we look at it and we go, okay, so instead of looking at it as what's happening to you, I flip it and we go, how is it meant to help you, to grow you, to shift you, to provide a new opportunity? Where are the gifts in what's happening? There are always lessons and there are always gifts in anything that happens. And so when I can reframe that and they can take a step back from the edge of judgment and the edge of it's a setback. And I'm like, whoa, hang on. Let's try a reframe here. What if it's a setup for something greater? A setup for your next growth, a setup for your next level. And they have to pause and they have to think about that. And the fastest way to turn a negative into a positive is to apply gratitude to it and to really start to look and go, okay, so what would I be grateful for in this circumstance? How can I see a lesson? How can I see an opportunity for me to grow, an opportunity for me to do something I haven't done before? How can I see potential? And how can I be empowered by this? And if I ask enough of those questions, they will have a light switch go on inside them and they will see what they need to see to move into a place of it's a gift, not an obstacle.
I really appreciate that. It changes everything.
Yeah, it
Reframe
does
it.
change everything. And we all have that power to reframe in any given moment. I have a long term history with depression, and I spent the better part of, I'm going to say, 20 to 30 years really, really wrestling with that. Um, I chose not to use medication. I did briefly, and I didn't like what it did to me. So I used exercise, I used diet. Sugar is my Achilles heel, and it wreaks havoc with my emotions.
Mm.
So I have to be extremely careful. But I share this because I don't want anyone thinking that I'm Pollyanna and that I've always been this upbeat. Not the case at all. Um, it's a choice that I make on a moment to moment, day to day, week to week, month to month basis. And I don't always make the right choice. Sometimes I will allow myself to go down a dark rabbit hole, but I go, wait. You're the one who can reframe. You can do this. And I have to pull myself back up.
It's a training in
It is a training.
itself. We gotta do it consistently because it's not easy and there are so many challenges that we face. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
Really appreciate.
absolutely.
Let's jump into your mentors and coaches. Are there any that you would like to highlight?
Oh gosh, I have so many. I'm so blessed on that front. I would definitely recommend Chris Donnelly and the Creators Academy on LinkedIn. He's done some amazing things up there in terms of growth and connection and engagement and how to really bring yourself and your genius to LinkedIn and to networking. I think that's really, really valuable. James Wedmore and Business by Design is another one of my favorites. I've invested in a lot of what James teaches, and I've been following him for over 15 years when he just barely started, and now he's got an 8-figure business, and he's only gotten better over the years. It's what's really fun is when you start with a mentor when they're here and then they start climbing, and their value grows. They don't lose sight of who they are, but they become more of who they are as they grow instead of less. And the lessons that they glean and that they continue to share. And then Tanya Lee with the School of Self-Image for women, I think is just an extraordinary example. And honestly, watching her journey, because I always watch not just what they're doing, but how they're doing it. Because I'm a business coach, I love to see how they brand, how they engage on Instagram, on LinkedIn. What are their programs looking like? How are they building this vessel of impact and seeing all of that? And I think she does an incredible job. She really does. And having watched her growth, I actually really enjoy her now, whereas before I wasn't so sure. And she's on her own journey, but she shares her journey with us. So that's really powerful. James does the same thing, and Chris is doing the same thing. They're sharing their journey.
I can see authenticity as across all of them.
Yeah,
Thank you for sharing.
that really matters.
Yes, it makes a huge difference. And can you share about what unleashed leadership means to you?
Yeah, unleashed leadership is about unlimited potential. And it's about being a leader in every aspect of your life and particularly leading yourself. We each have to lead ourselves, and sometimes that's the hardest thing we do because we have to realize that if we're not leading ourselves, how can we possibly lead others? And the way we're leading ourselves, is it authentic? Is it kind? Is it generous? Is it in grace and gratitude? Because we want to think about how we treat ourselves as how we want to be treating others. And is it from a place that empowers or disempowers? That to me is what unleashed leadership is.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being a role model of that. Not only you, but with your clients too. I would like to thank you for joining us. But before we leave, there is something that I would like to go deeper about adaptability because I know you are very flexible and you have many years of experience and well, and we are part of a generation where we were analog, then we became digital, and you keep innovating and so and helping your clients also to keep it up with industry changes.
Mhm.
Can you share about that perspective?
Yeah, the thing is that being adaptable is a requirement of life today and business today, particularly. And as much as I do have my own frustrations with technology, no question about it. There are times where I've said, if I could just have been born 20 years ago, but I wasn't. So the way I look at life is as long as I'm growing, okay, and I'm expanding, I'm living. The moment I stop growing, the moment I stop adapting, the moment I stop innovating, the moment I stop imagining, I start shrinking and dying. And that's why when asked about retirement, I just go, no, I'm about reinvention, reignition, redefinition, re. I don't see retirement. Do I see slowing down? Slowing down, such a strange term. Um, I see again more of a refiring in different areas because again, continual growth, not constant, but continual growth in different arenas, creatively, spiritually, personally, professionally. As long as I'm growing, then I'm alive.
Mm.
And the moment I decide to stop the growth, I start to shrink. And being adaptable is an integral part of growth.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Is there anything that we are missing, or would you like to share a message with the future leaders that we have in the audience?
I think what I would say is that lead yourself, find mentors like you that really are out there connecting, growing networks, creating engagement, and making a difference and having a powerful impact. And push yourself beyond your comfort zone, go beyond your perceived limits because they are perceived. And remember that you are the only limit that you really have. Each of us is our only limitation. Anything else, we can find a way over, under, around, or through because I've done it too many times. And it really helps you when you have mentors around you that lift you up and that show you their own paths. And you're a shining example of that. So follow and lead
No,
in
thank
the
you.
same regard.
That's a great advice and a great way to close. Thank you for joining us. It's been an honor to share this space with you. Thank you for the wisdom. I know many people will get a lot of value from this. Well, they you already provided a lot of value, and I hope they take action and they get out of their comfort zone.
My pleasure, Carla. Absolutely, always. And I hope that they take action on their own behalf as well. They're the only ones who can.
Yes. Thank you.